Well, okay, good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a super Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining me on this flight over to Oshkosh with the TBM 900. We've got a special guest on the stream this evening. We've got on the audio, we've got Pilsner as well. Pilsner, say hello. Let's make sure we can get a good audio check from you.
Hello.
Can everybody hear both myself and Pilsner, most importantly? Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got Rusty85C. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's been a while since I last streamed. I had something planned, and then events took hold. Rico, thanks for taking some time away from coding to come and see the fruits of your labor get airborne. Pancake King, hello. Hope you're not causing too much trouble there. Robbie TP101, thanks for joining. Hope it's nice where you are at the moment. Captain Zap, first time joining the stream live. Hope you enjoy it. It's something a little bit different. Not too long, maybe about an hour to an hour and 20 minutes this evening. We'll see how it goes. Bomb57, thanks for joining once again. Hope you're enjoying the LET 200. And we've got Miles Mace as well. Hello. And thanks for the audio report, Pancake. Bottle Rocketeer, first time watching from the beginning. Well, I hope it lives up to your expectations. So we've got this lovely livery on our TBM for the flight over to Oshkosh on PilotEdge. It's basically the same liveries we had before, except for Oshin did some stickers. So SimVenture 2021 and TBM to Oshkosh. Pretty good, huh? So Pilsner's riding along in the right-hand seat. There may be some slight audio delay because he's obviously watching the stream the same as you are, but the audio will be a little bit out of sync. And if at any point through the stream you can't either hear the PilotEdge controllers or you can't hear Pilsner or myself, just let me know and we'll fix it up. So the plan of action is to get this aircraft fired up and fly over to Oshkosh. We're here in Grand Rapids. We're going to fly across initially on an IFR plan. We're going to go to a waypoint called Squib, which is just on the Michigan-Wisconsin boundary here. Victor 30 across to Badger. We're going to descend down to low level and then fly up towards Oshkosh. We're going to fly the Warbird of the Turbine arrival, which is basically straight line north over Fond du Lac here towards Warbird Island and then hopefully into Oshkosh. That's the plan. At least we'll see how it goes. And Pilsner's going to keep me straight and sort everything out in that right. Anything that goes wrong, we can blame Pilsner for today. Right, so what we need to do is to fire up the TBM, and it's been a long time since I did that, so let's see if we can work it out.
You still remember how?
Oh, just about. I think so. Hey, Sim Caesar, thanks for joining. Aircraft's already all loaded up. As far as I remember, we've got some weight in here. We've got the, I've taken the chocks off already, so let me just double check the brakes. I'll hold the brakes, set the parking brake. We'll close the door, check those fuel caps, one fuel cap, two fuel cap. Don't touch the red lever. Pancake King has all the useful information for us. Right, best latch that as well, huh? So oxygen goes on, check the oxygen mask, make sure we get the hiss from it, all is good. Across the top, I'll just make sure everything is switched off with the exception of the ignition, which is set to auto. Everything else is off. Down here, all the switches are off. We've reset the brake, the gear lever's down, AC and bleed is off, fuel is selected on. The red lever is in the convenient off position. The red lever of death should not be a factor today. Emergency gear extension is fine and the circuit breakers are in. Johnny Kazmatis, is that? Hey, thanks very much for joining the stream. Hope you enjoy it. Right, let's put the power in. You'll notice that I don't use the GPU because Totorico charges me $50 every time I touch the GPU. So we just use the battery.
It definitely seems, like it's going to add up, eh?
Well, it does add up, especially if you just completely ignore the fact it charges you and spam the button every time. But hey ho, lesson learned. It's part of the immersion, huh? So to try and save a little bit of time on this, I've powered up the aircraft previously. I've got the PFD set up correctly. We've got the flight plan here. You can see we've got Squib over to Badger and then down towards Eden and then VP War. So that should all work out. And apparently the oral warning is okay. Let's see, we get the lights check as well. It's making all the right noises.
Didn't smash that speaker button as soon as you got inside.
Ah,
You out of practice.
I'd leave that switched on. I like the noise. Oh, it still says I've got a door open. That's because I haven't been paying attention. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Now that was your job. I'm sure you were supposed to close the door.
Pause system test. Okay.
I actually usually do that manually on the inside just because it's such a satisfying process.
Isn't it awesome? Best way to do it.
Like smooth and.
What's Tochiko saying? It's partly to try and get all the airliner SimBoys to stop operating private aircraft like an airliner, with the GPU always being available. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Everything there makes sense. The voltage is good for the battery start. So let's just flick our transponder on. I'll put it to out. So they're sitting on the ground. It's 2000 for the IFR conspicuity. And at Grand Rapids, there's no PilotEdge coverage here. We'll use 13565 for the CTAF. Strobe light comes on. We shall flick the aux boost pump to on. ITT is not going to be a factor. So we're going to start the timer and start the engine. Are you ready, Pilsner? Let's do it. Timer's running. We've got starter, ignition, main gen, 13%, low idle. Oil pressure's rising. Brakes are holding, ITT's coming up, 25, 30. ITT is cooling off. Oil pressure's coming up nicely, 30 seconds. NG's in the green, no external power. Welcome up to flight idle. Another easy start in the TBM900. I'm going to put those headsets on just to bring the sim noise down a little bit. We'll flick the aux boost pump switch to auto. Fuel selection to auto. We'll cycle it, make sure it cycles. The trim's on. And I'll put the inertial separator. I should have used the display reversion for startup, but no big deal. Right, on the system page here, let's look at the ELEC. We've got 37 amps and 13 amps from the battery, so we're good for the generator standby check. So we get main gen captioned, cancel the master caution, and back to main gen. Everything's working fine there. With that, we'll put the bleed on and the auto on. The AC to auto, sorry. And in just a second, we'll have the inertial separator. There we go, inertial separator on. Are you still with me, Pilsner? Can you still get your audio there?
Yep.
Awesome stuff. Great, so it's cavalcade conditions for the flight over towards Oshkosh as required by PilotEdge. I don't mind cavalcade, that's my favourite kind of weather. But we'll still do the icing check, the icing equipment check on the aircraft, simply because it slows us down a little bit and gives us something to do. So what I'm going to do is put the NG up to about 80%. I'm going to make sure the aircraft isn't moving. My new throttle is rather sticky in some cases, so it may have a little bit of an overswing. And then we'll put the prop de-ice, the windshield ice, and the airframe ice. We'll check for the outside boots. And then a few seconds later, the inside boots, and we'll let it go through one complete cycle of that. While it's cycling, I'll check my trims and the AP interrupt, so I'm going to hold nose down and then use the AP trim disc to stop it. There's nose down, trim to stop, go the other way, disconnect to stop, same way with the ailerons, right and left, and finally the rudder, all the way right, left, and that's about, in this aircraft we'll leave it set roughly in the middle, not the green band, for the takeoff. Cool, we're just waiting for the next cycle from the airframe de-ice. Pilsner's pointed out in the chat that we've got Winston in the Machete SF260 over at Portage Airport C47, and he's going to be flying the Fisk arrival into Oshkosh this evening as well. He's streaming in a few minutes, hopefully, or maybe he's live just now. So if you do have the ability to watch both streams simultaneously, I'm sure Winston would love that. We've got
I just wanted to give shout out to Winston there.
Oh, absolutely.
He just went live.
He's been doing an awesome job with those streams, huh? He's been streaming the SF260 all the way across the country to get to Oshkosh.
Yeah, and one more we saw Sim Caesar was on as well, right? I'm not sure if he's still there, but
yeah, he's
great
there.
streamer too.
Awesome. Cool, so we've done the de-ice check, and the next thing is just the feather check, so bring it across into high idle, make sure the prop feathers, go back to flight idle. Bottle Rocketeer, it's anything with a turbine power plant has to do the warbird arrival. It does seem a little bit unusual because the TBM could live quite happily at 90 knots, as I think I demonstrated on the last stream we did with the TBM, but you know, the warbird arrival is fairly straightforward, so I'm quite happy to fly that. There isn't an arrival slot per se into Oshkosh, but I do want to try and meet up with Winston, or at least be able to hear Winston on the frequency. So what I want to do is to get airborne from here between 1745 and 1750. Hopefully that would kind of work out. The Turbine Islander would certainly struggle on most of those speed restrictions.
I'm ready with the checklist when you are, Captain.
Awesome. Do we have a checklist? I can't remember a checklist for this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push the...
Photos checklist. Very exhaustive.
Sure. Looks like we got a little bit of spam in the chat there as well, unfortunately, but I'm sure that'll get sorted out. I'm going to push the toga button to get the flight directors. We've got 16,000 feet set here, and the runway 08. And basically, the runway is directly ahead of us here. We're just going to fly ahead and take off. It's 10,000 feet long, so plenty long enough for the TBM. Hope all that makes sense. Because the runway's right over there and we're doing a kind of timed departure, I'm going to set the flaps just now, and I'm going to also set on the traffic system, and I'll put the weather radar to stand by as well. I don't anticipate using the weather radar, but I will have it stand by just in case. The flight plan is GCRR to squib, which is fine. So if everybody's ready, let's trundle off over to the runway and get ready to go. You ready, Pilsner?
Let's go.
Taxi lights on, options on, ATB trims are on. I'll just bring it out of the flight idle, take the brakes off, and away we go. Yeah, it's ridiculous, Pancake King, isn't it? Auto mod is not the most useful thing in the world. Sometimes it catches some interesting things, but more often than not it just wastes your time. So this is the first time I'm flying flying anything on the stream, if you like, with the new joystick and the throttle. So it's a bit different from having the same joystick for 20 years and then replacing it. Feels a bit different. That's my excuse for the landing right there. Also, if we end up landing on 3.6 right at Oshkosh, that'll be quite interesting. I'll just make a call for MDLs on the frequency. Grand Rapids traffic, it's Mike Yankee Tango Bravo Mike, blue and white TBM taxiing out, depart runway 08 right, Grand Rapids. So all we've got to do is to turn on the pitot and the stall heaters, and then we are good to go.
So where are we coming out from?
We are coming out from the GA parking, just out towards runway 08 right here.
Yankee or Romeo?
This is Romeo. In the words of John and Martha King, black square, you're there. So there's Romeo.
Right turn, Delta then.
We'll just go straight out. We're doing intersection departure from
intersection.
Romeo. It's plenty long enough, I think. Have we got about 7,000 feet remaining?
8,000?
Yeah, that'll do.
Think you can do it?
I hope so. Right, pitot heat's going on. So check the FMAs. We've got takeoff with flight directors. CAS's inertial separator. Battery and generator is fine. Flaps trim set, and we'll have the pulse lights on with the taxi light on. That just gives us the double intensity, if you like. You still get the pulse effect, but you also get the taxi in the background. Hey, Captain Crash. It's a bit tricky with a fan up front, isn't it? So no traffic around as far as I can see. Grand Rapids traffic, Mike Yankee Tango Bravo Mike, blue and white TBM taking off runway 08 right with a left-hand turnout on departure for IFR, Grand Rapids. Excellent. How's our time? 45. So I'm just going to hold it on the runway just for 1 minute, and we'll see if we can get this time synchronized up correctly to try and meet up with Winston. Don't know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. It depends on how busy it is over in Oshkosh. Don't know if we're close enough to see them on the map yet. I don't think X-Plane is injecting the traffic at this range.
I'd say Winston is still on the ground, not taxied yet.
Ah, good stuff. This mobile internet, when you're airborne on a TBM, is awesome stuff, isn't it? A little bit of roleplay there. Cool, I think we're good to go. That's just approaching time 47. We can always just consult the map, Goto says. Right, are you ready, Pilsner?
Yes, yes.
Here we go. Brakes off. Advance the levers, wait till it stabilises in the green band, that's around about 48%. Push it forward a little bit more. Try not to overswing. That's good enough. 50 knots. 60 knots.
Airspeed alive.
70 knots. 80.
Rotate.
Quick jab on the brakes. Gear up. Follow those flight directors initially. Cool. I'll put it into vertical speed mode. I'll just lower the nose a little bit, let her accelerate. And above 115 knots, we'll bring the flaps up. Autopilot in. Go into heading, and round we go. I'll just let it accelerate. So hopefully about 170 knots on the climb out. Bottle Rocketeer, full tanks. Well, I don't want to run out short of fuel. Full tanks, well, you never know if it's going to be easy getting fuel. If you go to a big fly-in, and you're quite far back in the list of people departing, then, getting fuel might be problematic. So it makes sense to take in fuel to cover the eventualities, if you like. It costs you a little bit to carry it, but on an aircraft like the TBM, and to be honest, I'd always take as much fuel as I could get in with the payload and the performance. There you go, 3,000 feet, I turn left roughly towards Squib. I'll go into my flight plan, I'll go direct Squib. I'll wait till it's about halfway around the turn, Squib, and then nav. So we've got GPS to Squib. So what I tend to do, and this isn't SOP, this is just what I do, is I set the power for takeoff and then I don't touch it until the torque is down to about 83, 84%. And at that point I select the inertial separator off and the torque comes back up again. It saves me messing around with it. I'm looking for 170 knots. I'm just going to lower the nose a little bit more. In fact, we'll put it into flight level change mode and let it take care of all the fancy stuff. I'll take the pulse lights and the tax lights off just now. We don't need to worry about those. And we are on the way. So is everybody having a good evening? Are you enjoying yourselves in the world of simulation this evening? How are you liking that the LET 200 POM? Is it growing on you? Have you had a chance to fly it a little bit more? Or not so much? We have to ask Pilsner if he's bought any more aeroplanes recently as well. Pilsner owns pretty much all the aeroplanes, as best as I can tell. Have you bought anything else recently?
Well, since I pledged not to buy anything, I did get the 146, but that wasn't with my own money, so it doesn't count.
Well, that's fair enough. Robbie, thanks for following the channel, and Zona Noli as well. Thanks for the follow, much appreciated. Captain Crash has been doing stellar work on coding up an inertial reference unit, and also doing a lot of testing on the 747-200, which is nice to see. Time flies, Pom, huh? Hey Mattia, thanks very much for joining. Hope you're having a good evening there. Hope the hangover's worn off now. It's a few days down the line.
So when you take off,
yes,
is VS usually the mode you go to from takeoff? Is that
it depends what I want to do. So if I've got no obstacles, there was no obstacle departure that really out of Grand Rapids there, I prefer to accelerate because you get more. I've seen more bad stuff happen at low airspeed than at high airspeed, if you like. The altitude doesn't make much difference, but the airspeed can make a huge difference. For a single engine aircraft climbing with a high nose attitude, if you have a power loss at low airspeed, the results can be dangerous very quickly. So I prefer the airspeed if I've got an option. I also know from experience that at reasonable weights, the TBM, the target pitch attitude on takeoff with the takeoff mode will give you an acceleration that is roughly similar to around about 1600 or 1700 feet a minute. So to accelerate, I just pop it into VS, drop the nose ever so slightly, and it will pick up to about 160 all by itself. So it basically keeps the pitch attitude more or less constant with the nose roughly on the horizon here. That's what I'm aiming to do.
Yeah, I found the takeoff mode, the acceleration, it's okay, but it's not it's not great, right? You definitely want to. I always find I'm not accelerating as quickly as I would like to.
Exactly.
So yeah, you need to lower it, and I guess stick it into VS, put the autopilot on, lower the nose a bit, and then maybe bring it up again to. Or go into IAS and bring the speed target down to pick up a climb.
Exactly.
That's usually what I do.
You can go straight into flight level change as well. I mean, the flight directors will give you positive guidance to capture the speed that you want. So, if you want to climb 140 knots, you just flight level change 140 and it will get you there. There's different ways of doing it. It's not really like the Airbus where the flight directors can have a nasty effect on what the aircraft is doing. So on the Airbus, you would never deliberately fly somewhere other than where the flight directors are pointing. But on an aircraft like this, where there's no auto thrust interaction with those flight directors, it's completely fine to do that. Just blow the nose ever so slightly and get it going.
And then you're a friction lock.
I am a friction lock person. Yeah, I much prefer it because it means I can make fairly big movements of my hardware and fairly little movements of the software joystick or the software power lever. There's 10,000 feet. We are pressurizing. It didn't pick up the landing field elevation. That's because I powered it off. Back on again, so we'll just do that, and then we're good. Osh 2000, thanks for the follow, and Nemov, good to see you here as well. Hope you're having a super evening. Kilikov flies. Yeah, X-Plane's a brilliant sim. I think it flies really nicely. I have a lot of fun flying X-Plane. I would like it if the visuals were improved a little bit more over the current generation, but this is what, 5 years old, this sim now. I think it looks okay. I mean, a few repeating textures, but when you've got aircraft like this TBM in it, it's hard to fly anything else. Excellent.
According to Rossello, we're not missing anything in the scenery anyway.
Oh, right, okay. It's fairly bland over this part of the world, isn't it? Yeah, it's a super sim, Kilikov. I really enjoy it. Well, let's see. What do we need to do here? that's the ATIS. There's nobody really controlling us here, so let's have a listen on 2275, which is the air-to-air frequency on PilotEdge. Just nudge that power forward a little bit as well. The one thing about this Thrustmaster joystick is it is fairly sticky. I spent this afternoon taking it apart and regreasing the slides on it and adjusting the friction thing on it. It's still not great, to be honest. It's usable, but not great.
The common traffic advisory frequency is 118.5 for non-event hours.
That sounds like the ATIS coming through.
Air traffic
Can people hear the ATIS on the stream? The scratchy ATIS that's coming through there.
stopping these positions during the published event times.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Captain Crash, Todrico. Brilliant. I'll leave it switched off just now. It's just that little bit scratchy. But let's see if Winston's up and listening as well. So 12275. And November 58 Yankee Foxtrot. November 58 Yankee Foxtrot from Mike Yankee Tango Bravo. Mike, do you read? Nothing there just yet. Maybe he's still doing his checks.
I'd say
We're a bit far away, I guess, as well.
Or maybe just started taxiing.
Pancake, do you mean the ATIS is a touch loud? Just trying to get the balance between them there. Let's see what we've got. I can adjust the volume here. ATIS, yeah, no worries. So let's see, that's at 50%. That's at 50%. So if I turn the stream audio down a little bit for the ATIS, that just means Pilsner's going to have to turn his gain up a fraction, but should be fine. Excellent, so I'm just nudging the power up as we go, keeping an eye on the ITT. 790 is the recommendation, 840 is the maximum. We'll just let the aircraft accelerate at 16,000 feet. Does the squelch function work in a TBM? Do not know. Do you have to push and hold for it? I don't think that's implemented in the next plane. In this part.
Yeah, I think it's the same like Toto said on VATSIM too. Like there's only audio when someone's transmitting audio, so you don't get the white noise, so there's nothing, it's not squelching anything in the clients. And on VATSIM client, in fact, all the noise and crackling on the audio is injected client side anyway.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, you wouldn't want to be wasting bandwidth to send white noise. Excellent. So there's 95% torque. We can go a little bit faster, but it's not really a race this evening. Let's have a look on here, see where we are. We should just be crossing over Lake Michigan just now. I tried this before, not on PilotEdge, on VATSIM I can see traffic. I don't know if I can see traffic on PilotEdge. I should be able to. Fingers crossed. So what we're going to do is, this is like an IFR transit. I'm only up at 16,000 feet because it's not a long flight across here. But what we're going to do is plan to be down at 4,000 feet. Let me see if I can get the charts up and explain what we're going to do. So if I look at the Navigraph chart here, we're basically proceeding direct squib, which was the most sensible airways entry point I could find, or Victor Airway entry point. Squib across here to Badger, and then north to Courier, Eden, and then there's Warbird Island here and Fond du Lac. So looking at this airway, you see the minimum altitude on the airway is 3,000 feet. There's no terrain around here whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to 4,000 feet, which is a reasonable IFR level at Courier, and then between Courier and Eden, we'll simulate cancelling IFR, and then we'll proceed from Eden on towards Warbird. So that should hopefully work out. I'll go back to the Chicago chart here. So as we go up to Oshkosh, there's Fond du Lac, Warbird Island, and we'll either be landing, well, we could land on any of the runway really. We'll get the ATIS in just a second and see what that is. But I want to be 3,500 feet. Although it's not marked on the chart, there's Class D airspace for SimVenture around Fond du Lac. It goes up to 3.3, so I'm going to go over the top at 3.5. Once we're 4 miles north of Fond du Lac, I'm going to go down to 2,800. We may have to hold at Warbird Island. If I don't hold, I'm going to go down to 1,800, which is 1,000 feet above the field, and then do what the air traffic controllers tell me to do. Should make sense. So let's get this descent set up here. See if I can get the cursor into the right place. There we go. So I want to go to Courier, and we're just going to go to 4,000 feet at Courier. Enter. And because it's a TBM, we'll say we'll do 3.5 degrees downhill, and that gives us 15 minutes in the cruise. PilotEdge have done a really good job publishing the NOTAM for SimVenture. It's very detailed if you haven't done it before. I haven't done it before, but it didn't seem to be overly complicated from what I read in the NOTAM. The key thing is getting the speeds and having those waypoints identified correctly. Let's see if we can get that ATIS coming through now.
Oshkosh ATIS information Alpha, wind calm, visibility 10, sky clear, altimeter 2992. VFR arrival and departure procedures in effect. Arriving runway 27, 36 left, and 36 right. Pages 20 or 22 of the NOTAM. Departing runway 36 left at intersection Papa 5. Aircraft inbound for the Fisk arrival, proceed Green Lake to join the Fisk arrival and monitor Fisk approach on 120.7 for runway time and frequency. Arriving aircraft must be familiar with runway exit procedures. Refer to the bottom of pages 20 or 22 for your specific runway's exit procedure after landing. Upon arrival, pilots wishing to depart immediately shall follow the flagmen. They'll guide you back to the runway for takeoff. Arrivals wishing to taxi to parking shall follow the flagmen until they see signage for parking. All Oshkosh departures refer to procedures on page 23 of the NOTAM. Pull out of the designated parking area and follow the flagmen to runway 36 left at Papa 5. Monitor tower on 118.9 to be listening and ready to go upon reaching the runway. All pilots must set their simulators to VFR weather conditions with calm winds. Oshkosh ATIS information Alpha, wind calm, visibility 10, sky clear, altimeter 2992. VFR arrival and departure procedures in effect. Arriving runway 27, 36 left, and 36 right. Pages 20 or 22.
Well, that's going around in circles. It didn't actually tell us what to expect for the turbine arrival. We've got to call the tower directly. So, let's have a think about what we would do there. I think all I'll do is I'll call the tower south because they're going to be the closest runway that we've got to Oshkosh. And if they want us on 36 left, they'll accept us. If they don't, we'll call the other frequency, which is 118.5. So let's put that in there just now. Let's try 126.6, and I'll change over once we're a lot closer. Yeah, it's got to be clear weather and nil winds. I think it's just there's probably too much opportunity for real weather to get screwed up between the various different sim platforms, Bottle Rocketeer. So I can buy into that. I quite like flying with nil weather. Makes it a lot easier. It should help out the frame rates as well. We're getting 60 just now, but it may drop off if we get a lot more traffic onto the frequency. Pilsner, is there any other traffic in the vicinity that may be showing up on the map? It doesn't look like I can see anything at the moment.
Stand by.
Oh, okay then. Oh, no dramas. Pancake King, thanks for the audio report. It's always difficult to get the balance when you've got several different audio sources coming in. Yeah, there's nobody here over Lake Michigan but us.
Doesn't seem to be.
Awesome. There's nothing to set up on PilotEdge about getting the sim models in, and on a quick check yesterday we did see some traffic, so hopefully it works out. This should be the easy part of the flight now. Let's give Winston another call. What was his call sign? 58 Yankee Foxtrot. And November 58 Yankee Foxtrot. 58 Yankee Foxtrot from Mike Yankee Tango Bravo Mike.
Mike Yankee Tango Bravo Mike, November 58 Yankee Foxtrot. Good evening. I am just on my way. We're joining at Green Lake.
Roger. Have you got all the ATIS information copied in?
I do. 27, 36 left, 36 right. 8 Yankee Fox.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, we just copied the ATIS as well. It doesn't give us an indication of the runway for the turbine arrival, but we'll see how it goes. Hope you're enjoying the flight so far.
I am. I might be riding along in your cockpit through the wonders of technology as well.
That's all right. We allowed for you in the mass and balance. You have a good flight, Winston. Enjoy yourself. Mike Yankee Tango Bravo Mike's clear.
See you, Graham. See you later.
Cool. If there's anybody else in the chat at the moment that isn't also watching Winston, certainly have a look at his Twitch channel. It's Winston 2108, I think it is. Pilsner posted the link a little bit back in the chat, so certainly check it out. He flew the SF-260 all the way up from California and is doing a super job. He also just received his private pilot's license through the post from the CAA in real life, so it's a momentous week for Winston.
Real pilot.
Real pilots. Real pilots is what it's about. Right, let's have a look and see how we're doing on the vertical descent. 10 minutes to go. So yeah, maybe next year. They don't allow turbojet aircraft at SimVenture this year, but maybe next year there'll be a turbojet option, eh? You never know. We're counting on Totorico to deliver that for us. Why don't I use Avatar built into TBM? For the simple reason that I have got a 23-inch monitor that is 1980 by whatever the other side of the resolution is. So if I bring it up here, for me to actually read that on screen, I have to be in here anyway, so it's easier just to pop it up. Really, that's the only reason I do it. It's a great option if you've got a big screen, but for me, having it as a pop-up works. Pilsner has got honorary documentation in the post. I like it. Do you like that, Pilsner? Honorary real pilot.
Oh, yes.
High praise from Ocean there.
Straight from Mother Ireland.
Very good. Right, what I'll do is I'll put the air-to-air frequency on the COM2, so 12275, and then I'll go back to 126. I'll listen on COM2. I've had some comments on YouTube a while back about the geometry of the cockpit and why these comm lights are blocked off there. If you look at how far forward my head is from the simulated headrest, if I move back a little bit and back to where my eye point really would be, you can see it quite clearly. But for me, again, flying it in the sim, if I sit here, the view over the nose doesn't change that much, but it's easier to deal with in a 2D desktop situation. So that's why you need to kind of duck down a little bit. It's not the geometry, it's just where I have my eye point. And I do prefer the eye point slightly further up and forward compared to what would be real life. You know, if you move it back, you can see more. But it's a bit harder, again, with that small monitor to read everything.
So our friend is Winston. This is converging on the southwest corner of Green Lake at the moment, which is cool.
Awesome
Another cool
stuff.
feature of this map is it tells you what frequencies people are
It's really
tuned
useful.
into. That is very useful.
Totiko, if you're still in the chat, does PilotEdge inject the traffic into the TCAS system on X-Plane, or is that not an option we have? I honestly can't remember now. It's been a long time since I flew PilotEdge. Is there a range limitation on it? For example, would I expect to be able to see aircraft out at the very limit of the dial. 20 nautical miles. That would make sense. Thank you. I was a bit concerned it wasn't going to show me anything there, because I'm kind of counting on the little nav map to help me out with traffic awareness. Good. So we can relax on that front. We can relax, Pilsner. It'll be good. There's the extent of the PilotEdge scenery for Oshkosh. They've done a very extensive job, and it's fairly frame rate friendly as well. So I'm still running on the 1060 GTX, and I got 60 frames a second when I tested it last night. It'll probably be a little bit slower if there's a lot of other aircraft around, but hopefully it won't be too bad. I've dropped my sim objects down to medium. I normally run it at maximum. Just dropped it down to medium to make it a little bit...
Yellow King Air, on the lock.
There we go. We can hear some people. Whilst we're here, let's look at these other charts.
Pinch Alter. The time is 2211 Zulu. SimVenture is now open. Exit information. Alpha's current. It's a beautiful day at Oshkosh. We'll pick you up as you come inbound on the base for runway assignment 36 left to runway 36 right. Plan to land on the dots and left turn into the grass off the left runway. Off the skinny runway, the right runway, you'll be taxiing all the way to the end and following the flagman.
This is Warbird Island here. I was trying to catch where the King Air, which runway assignment they were going to get, but Warbird Island is here, and we're going to go in.
Yeah, I heard something about that, but I wasn't sure if it was calling me.
It's only 36 left and 36 right and 27 that are active. If we're looking a little bit closer.
Is there a yellow King Air over Fond du Lac?
That's affirmative.
They've got dots on the runway as aiming points, so you've got purple, yellow, pink, blue, and white, green and orange on 27.
Let's go to Warren Lines then.
I'm hoping we get 36 left. I haven't landed on 36 right. It's very narrow. So hopefully 36 left or 27. 27 would be even better.
Who's coming inbound? Seaplane?
That will be Big Ford.
Big Ford. Oshkosh Tower, thanks. Report a mile right base, 1 mile right base for runway 36 left right. I'll assign that as you get closer.
We're going to 1 mile right base, 36, Big Ford.
So I'll try and keep up with the chat as well, but one of the things in a busy environment is try and build situational awareness, and you do that by listening to the other traffic as well. So if I stop interacting for a little bit, hopefully you can understand why that is the case. And Pilsner's here as well to chat along with you, should it be necessary. Fly the airplane. Rule number 1. Keep flying it till every bit stops moving. 3 minutes until the top
Do you have a primary reference?
6 seconds.
Negative, Big Ford.
Yeah, Big Ford, looks like they got some departures heading out for the left, so let's put you on the right, runway 36 right, Red Square, Clinton Land, roll it all the way to the end.
6 right, Red Square, Big Ford.
Busy, huh? One of the interesting things at Oshkosh is you don't vacate on a taxiway, you vacate straight onto the grass.
Warlands,
Yellow King Air, roger. Report a 1 mile right base for runway 36 left, plan on the left.
Okay, King Air's going to the left. That's
1 mile base for the Yellow King Air.
So we might get left or right. They might put a TBM on 36 right. It's 60 feet wide, so it's not really a problem. It's just the fact that it looks a bit different for the perspective. Pilsner, have you got the NOTAMs there? Can you tell me how far along the runway 36 right the red dot is, please? I didn't note those on my diagram. I've only got the left ones. You see, Winston's doing this all single-handed. I thought I'd bring some help along.
And white forward, nice job. Big forward, good job. And again, all the way to the end, follow the flagman. Welcome back.
Red Square on the right-hand side is 3,000 feet from the end. So
okay, we'll do the best we can. Let's see if she calls vertical track.
Vertical track.
There we go. V now. So I've got VPAF, and I've got, I need to set my lower target altitude. I'm going to set it down to 4,000.
Looks like there's a Cessna out there. It looks like a 150, possibly white and red. You're about 2 miles.
So what have we got? I wanted to be there at 30 minutes past over at Warbird Island.
Shiny yellow
Showing 29
use caution. There's a Cessna. Looks like a white and red Cessna. Just about.
But that's okay. I expect to slow down a little bit as we get closer.
Moving westbound. For you, runway 36 select, clear to land on the yellow dot. Be a left turn into the grass. Follow the flag. Now welcome to the shop.
36 left, clear to land, and we'll head out. We'll keep a heads up for the traffic. Thank you.
So if we land 36 left, we're going to vacate left into the grass. We'll try and avoid the runway signs. The flagmen will not put them through the mincer on the front of the aircraft. And we could get stuck in the grass is the only consideration, because it's stock X-plane grass in this sim. I'll just bring the power back a little bit, keep an eye on the torque, make sure we don't accelerate too much.
Yeah, so it's, well, I almost said I guess 8,000 feet runway on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
The red would be, I guess, 5,000 feet. So
awesome. That's plenty long enough.
thereabouts.
So it's about the same position as the yellow dot on 36 left. It might actually be on my diagram here. Let's have a look.
It's a little, yeah. Red square is a little further on, and it's a little shorter runway, so I kind of rounded.
Okay. We can live with that. If in doubt, you know, standard rules of flying apply. You get a runway, it's your runway until it's you vacated safely. So if in doubt, we'll go around. That's the other thing about Oshkosh on the 36 is if you go around, you're flying straight towards runway 27.
Welcome to the show.
So we need to
Thank you,
make a
sir.
right-hand
Have a good
turn if that's the case.
You as well.
How much traffic is there really, Toto? Do I want to look at the traffic, or will it make me nervous? Just ease that power back again. Every time I get in the TBM, having flown a lot of other things in the sim, it's just such a joy to get back in this aircraft where everything kind of does what it's supposed to do and all kind of works correctly. I don't want to look now. I don't want to look, Toto. It's making me nervous. Cool, so going below flight level 100, what I want to do is make the aircraft as obvious as possible for the lights. So I'll put the pulse lights on, I'll put the tax lights on. The nav lights don't really make any difference during the daytime. I also want to get as much out of the way as possible. So I've got a good ITT margin at the moment. I'll put the inertial separator on. And in order to land the aircraft, all we need is the gear down and the yaw damper off. And that's basically us. So we can concentrate on looking out for traffic and avoiding anything scary from happening.
For the east-west road for Oshkosh runway 36
So we're
left,
cancelling
36 right. We're landing both runways.
We'll do it when we get down to 4,000 feet. So 4,000 is the minimum. Well, it's 3,000 minimum for the
They
airway.
left, plan to land at
In this
Odon.
direction,
Left turns
4,000
into the
is
grass. If
suitable.
they're landing on the right,
We'll cancel
straight
IFR
taxi all the way
after
to the end,
courier,
and in both
and then we'll drop
situations,
down
you
to
will follow
3.5.
flag. Welcome to the show.
There's the separator. And Pilsner, standard pilot, co-pilot briefing as well. If I'm doing anything that you're not expecting or that I haven't briefed, ask me what I'm doing, challenge me on it, and we'll try and work out what we've done wrong. Team effort. Don't be scared, you know I want to know. I do want to know, but I don't want to click the link on my ancient laptop in case it screws things up. So I'll just carry on pretend it'll be fine. It's going to be fine, right? It's just an image.
All air inbound to Oshkosh over the 5th Avenue over the East-West Road. You land runway 36 left, runway 36 right. We'll pick you out by color type as you get closer and assign a runway. If you are landing on the right, there will be no left or right turns. It'll be a straight taxi all the way to the end. You do not want to turn on 36 right, as you will not get across the runway. I'll be taxi all the way to the end, follow the flagman. Welcome to the show.
So apparently these are real Oshkosh controllers on PilotEdge, getting in practice for the real event, making it a bit more real for us. I like that.
Looks like we got a possibly white and blue de Havilland on the base there. Rock your wings. Excellent rock, excellent rock. White and blue de Havilland, runway 36 left. 36 left, clear to land, yellow dot, your left turn into the grass. Welcome to the show, one's calm.
So how did you set up your colors?
All aircraft inbound to Oshkosh over the East-West Road over Fisk Avenue. Pick out by color and type.
Colors on the chart,
landing
or
36 left, runway 36 right.
Model.
If you are landing on the right, land the
we're
taxi
blue and
straight
white.
to the end and follow the flagman. There will be no turns off the runway.
Even though she's got a
Runway
grey
36
belly,
left,
I
there will
thought
be
blue and
all
white.
left turns into the grass or hard surface, but exit the runway as soon as possible. There will be arrivals and departures to this runway, and your minimum time on the runway is greatly appreciated. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, she's a brilliant aircraft, Johnny Kazmatis. It's absolutely fantastic.
Say again, dots for the Evelyn.
Vertical track.
Cool. 83 gallons an hour. All I'm going to do is bring it off friction now,
Me on for the
and I'll bring it back to around about 50%
down
top,
the yellow dot and then left turn
and
into
we'll
the
just let her
grass
come
and follow
back
the
nicely
flagman. Welcome to
to
the show. Nice job.
around about 180 knots. So still IFR at the moment, in the grand scheme of things, although there's no control out here. It's only Font du Lac and Oshkosh itself that are controlled by PilotEdge just now. Right, cabin's depressurizing nicely. Everything else is looking reasonable. We should start to see some traffic when we get inside the 20-mile range. All aircraft inbound to Oshkosh over the East-West Road over Fisk Avenue remain over Fisk Avenue. As you get past the interstate and get closer, we will pick you out by type and or color. We are landing 36 left, runway 36 right. If you are assigned the right, the skinny runway, you will be taxiing all the way to the end. There will be no turns off the runway. It'll be a taxi all the way to the end. Good opportunity to cancel IFR, so I'll put the transponder back to VFR.
Follow the flagman, and everybody, welcome to the show.
I'll set 3,500. I'll go into vertical speed and I'll just nudge the nose down. So obviously, in real life, you would cancel IFR with a controller, and that would all make sense. But I'm in Class E airspace, so all I'm doing is changing to a VFR level. And when we get to Eden, we'll turn right and fly up towards Warbird Island. The first check-in with the controller is a beam.
Like we got a Cherokee white and blue possibly on the base. Rock your wings.
And
that's correct.
Yeah.
Excellent rock.
2800
nice
to 50
white and
knots
blue
or less.
Cherokee runway 36
and the
left,
Fisk traffic,
left.
there's a Fisk
Quick
approach
land
controller
for the
who's
yellow
sequencing
dot
that side of
left
the
turn into
airport,
grass.
the
Welcome
west
to the
side of the
show.
airport. But for us, we've got to call Oshkosh Tower directly on the turbine
Little 4, Oshkosh, are you inbound?
Little forward, yes.
Little forward, enter the right base, runway 36 right, and right on the red box, clear to land, roll it all the way to the end.
Okay, right base 36, you said red box, little forward?
Little forward, that's correct, red box, clear to land, and roll to the end. Actually, you can take it past the red box if you want. I know it's a long taxi, so just 36 right, at or after the red box, clear to land.
36 right, enter after box, little forward.
Aircraft approaching the inner.
How's your traffic situation looking, Pilsen?
And the white and blue Cherokee, nice job. On landing, left turn into the grass. Welcome to the show. Looks like a white Comanche crossing the interstate.
Okay.
Rocky wing.
There's a couple ahead, but that's about it. Yeah,
looking for that rock, that Comanche. Comanche just inside the interstate there, just on the right base.
Big news.
Like your white, rock the wings for me.
So with nobody behind us, nobody ahead of us that we can hear, I'm just going to bring the power back and around about 60 gallons an hour.
Comanche, excellent job on the rock. Nice job. Runway 36 left, for the left. Yellow dot, clear to land, left turn into the grass. There will be a Ford tri-motor off your right side for the adjacent runway. Not a factor there, just left off the grass after the yellow dot.
So there's Warbird Island,
good job. Runway
half past,
36
which
left,
is
clear to
exactly
land.
what we're aiming
Welcome
for.
to the show. Everybody inbound over Fisk Avenue, over the east-west road. Runway 36 left, runway 36 right. You're landing on the right. You will be expected to roll all the way to the end. No turns off into the grass, all the way to the end, and follow the flagman. For the left, you'll be left turns into the grass and follow the flagman, and welcome to the show.
That was recently added to the client, wasn't it? The CSL for the tri-motor. So I wonder if
it
that's
seemed to be piloted by a human.
Awesome. I remember flying that thing in Flight Sim 2004 quite a bit. It was good fun. Not the most high-performance aircraft. So here we are turning direct to Warbird Island, but the first call is over Fond du Lac, which is the city ahead of us. Should be able to see the airport.
Okay, on the base, looks like we got a diamond, possibly a white diamond. Rock your wings. Nice rock, excellent rock for the white diamond. Runway 36
that
left.
Fisk pancake?
Yellow dot, clear to
Fisk
land, left
controller?
turn into the grass. Follow the flagman. Welcome to the show. Nice job.
Or is Winston going on to 27s? Because I'm just listening
inbound,
to one tower.
Over the east-west road for Son of Fun, landing 36 left, runway 36 right. For the right runway, you'll be expected to taxi all the way to the end. No turns off that runway, taxi all the way to the end. Off the left runway, be left turns into the grass and follow the flagman. Welcome to the show. Everybody doing a great job.
That's reassuring, isn't it? This is proper air traffic control. I like that. He did say Sun and Fun. Just need a touch more power, I think. Don't want to get too slow.
Big Ford, seaplane base inbound to land.
Big Ford, welcome back. Let's plan for the right, runway 36 right, at or after the red box, clear to land, and you know the routine after that.
Red box, clear to land, 36 right, Big Ford.
Everybody inbound on over the west road over Fisk Avenue. Inbound on the left base, we'll pick you up and type as you get closer. Landing on runways 36 left and right. For the right, you will be expected to taxi straight ahead and follow the flagman. On the left, you will be making left turns into the grass following the flagman. Welcome to the show,
I'm
everybody.
not seeing any traffic injected. It could be a client issue on my part, I guess. We'll see what happens. Let's Fond du Lac. We'll give them a call. Oshkosh Tower South. It's a blue and white TBM, Fond du Lac.
White TBM over Fond du Lac. Thanks. Report to Warbird Island. Landing runway 36 left and right. I'll pick you up when you get there.
Report Warbird. Wilco. White TBM.
It's a beautiful day here on Milton. Winds are calm. It's a lovely day. It looks like I've got a
Winston
red Marquetti over the east-west road.
That's
Rock your
Winston.
wings. Red Marquetti, rock your wings for me.
Yeah.
Excellent rock for that market. Runway 36 left, 36 left. Yellow dot, clear to land, land into the grass. There will be a big Ford tri-motor alongside you for the adjacent runway. So for the red Marquetti, 36 left, yellow dot, clear to land, left turn into the grass.
So I'm going to start slowing down. It's 150 knots at Warbird. Yeah, I would expect to see some traffic now, but...
Everybody, we're landing 36 left and right. The right runway, you'll be expected to taxi straight ahead. No turns off the runway, off the right runway. Skinny runway all the way to the end. Follow the flagman. Off the left runway, it'll be left turns into the grass and follow the flagman. Winds are calm here. Beautiful day here. It looks like I've got a red robin on the base entry there. Rocket wings, Red Robin.
Right, we can start descent now, so vertical speed, we'll go down at...
Excellent job on Robin. Red Robin, runway 36 left, clear to land, yellow dot, let's turn into the grass. Red Robin, where are you from?
Just going to bring us around to the right ever so slightly, just to make sure we can see Warbird.
You aren't the guy that I talked to last year when I said Red Robin Yum, are you?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Oh, that's amazing! That is flippin' amazing! That's awesome! Yum!
I remember that one. Yeah.
Did you look up the commercial? Did you look it up like I told you to?
Yes, of course, did. And I saw a YouTube video.
That is awesome. Yeah, everybody hit me with the YouTube video. I keep still getting sends on that to this day. That's awesome. Welcome to the show, man.
Yes, thank you.
A blue and white TBM, Warbird Island.
And for the TBM, you inbound report, give me about 1.5 call out there on the right base. You have a runway preference?
I prefer 36 left, and we'll call 1.5 out, white TBM.
All right, sounds very good. We'll do that. We'll plan on the left for you. It looks like I've got in Skyhawk, orange with that sunlight reflecting off of that orange Skyhawk. Rock your wings for me.
Right, I'm going to put the gear down. I'll take the first stage of flap.
Looking for that rock from the orange Skyhawk over the east-west road. Skyhawk on the left base there. Skyhawk, give me a wing. There we go. There's the rock. Good job for the Skyhawk. Runway 36 left. Clear to land at the yellow dot. Left turn. Come to the show.
So he's going to pick us up on base. I'll fly towards it, and we'll turn in on the base. So this kind of outcrop of land ahead of us should mark a reasonable point to turn in. It's here. There's the airport, there's the tower. So I've got gear down, 3 greens, hit the brakes, our pressure check, and off flaps to take off.
For the TBM, you can just kind of dogleg in, keep the speed up, dogleg it in right for the numbers of the runway. Runway 36 left, yellow dot, clear to land for that TBM come down from Warbird.
Okay, it's 36 left, dogleg for the yellow dot, white TBM.
Yeah, go right for the numbers and then angle it in for the yellow dot right there. Clear to land.
Wilco, thanks very much, white TBM.
You're welcome. Where are you from?
From the UK, South Coast UK.
Very nice, very nice. Welcome to the event.
Oh, thanks very much. Doing a fine job.
Thank you.
Right, so I'll go straight for the numbers. I brought the speed back to get everything under control. He's sending us in a straight line to hopefully tighten up a little bit, but we'll do the best we can.
Everybody inbound Oshkosh over the east-west road. We're landing 6 left, runway 36 right, 36
so
right.
Yellow dot,
everybody
that's the second dot up the runway,
to the end. No
as far as I
turns
believe.
off, all the way to the end, follow the flagman.
So I'm going to aim
left,
for the threshold.
We'll get you down at the purple or the yellow dot. And upon landing, it'll be a left turn into the grass. Follow the flagman. Welcome to the show. Beautiful day here in sunny Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Winds are calm.
Excellent, thank you. So I'm trying to keep the speed up for him, but I want the final stage of
You
flap.
will be calling the real event in 2 weeks?
I'll be working it as I got forced out of the agency a year and a half ago, but I will be visiting.
I'm just going to adjust the angle ever so slightly. I don't see any traffic to affect.
But I won't be. She'll be
Final
working this
flaps
position, or no, she'll be working
are
fifth
coming
here
off.
in about 45 minutes.
That is nice. I'm working ATC in Germany, and I once have to visit you in Oshkosh, I think.
Most definitely. We'll have to make it happen. Are you coming to the event this year?
There's the yellow dot.
No.
All right.
Too far.
Yeah, it looks like I got the Duchess. Looks like white and black Duchess on the base there. Rock your wings.
Concentration time. Don't overshoot.
Excellent rock. Excellent rock. Runway 36 left, clear land, yellow dot, left turn into the grass. White blue TBM, nice job on that. That was perfect. Exactly what I wanted you to do. You fit in there just nice. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. We'll land on the yellow dot, vacate left. We've got the instructions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tower 8 Lima, Mike.
Airspeed.
Is there an 8 Lima Mike that called?
Affirmative, sir. Are there any
I missed it by a
PilotEdge reps
second.
available on another frequency?
So I'm going to vacate left, just give it a squeeze of reverse.
Go to Discord.
There's 40 knots. Not going to run into a flagman. I'll squeeze the brakes while we're on the tarmac, and we'll vacate off.
All aircraft inbound, Oshkosh over the east-west road, Fisk Avenue, left base, entry 36 left, 36 for the right. It'll be upon landing, a taxi all the way to the end. We'll get you to land as far as we can down
here
the
we
runway.
are. Let's get those flaps up.
But it'll be a landing all the way down to the end, and then it'll be follow the flagman off the left runway.
So the left runway.
It'll be a left turn into the grass once we get you on the deck. Everybody, welcome to the show.
I'll take the pulse lights off, and I'm going to put the strobe lights off for the flagman. And we'll keep it moving. Yep, you can vacate on the grass. That's part of the procedures for it. Check that my standby on the traffic and mode on the right. Straight ahead with the flagman. Let's find somewhere to park. Did you enjoy that, Pilsner?
It was very, very well done.
How about everybody in the chat? Does anybody in the chat have any questions? There's another few days of this event.
Still on?
It's a lot of fun.
Affirmative, sir.
If you haven't done it
Come
before.
up on 12345. 2345.
Zula and Nola. Okay, let me show you
All
that.
aircraft inbound Oshkosh over the west
So,
road, landing
have a look in the bottom right-hand side of my screen. So it says flight idle. If I do toggle reverse, I get into taxi range,
all the way to the end,
and that gives me much more slow control, and basically controlling the engine,
to the show. Winds are calm.
controlling the propeller directly.
Tower 8, Lima Mike.
Let's turn this volume down a bit.
Hey, Lima Mike, again?
Yes, sir. I positioned myself on the far end of 36 left, observing the field backwards, so I can talk to an edge controller on another frequency.
Okay, wherever you're at, that should be fine. Just go ahead and come up that frequency they wanted you to come up on.
So my problem with it on the ground is if you go into the grass, it'll get stuck if you don't use a lot of power.
Hawk on the base there.
But we're keeping an eye out for Winston. Let's see if we can find Winston. The flagman on the right-hand side is saying turn right. There's two flagmen ahead also saying turn right.
Yellow dot, left turn into the grass.
This one down. And we go. Winston's parked up. Great.
Everybody. We'll pick you out by color and tide it closer for that left base for runways 36 left and right. 36 right is a taxi all the way to the end. Runway 36 left will be.
So these guys are saying left as well. Left, left, left.
Welcome to the show.
B-17. There's a lot of airplanes here, and look at the frame rate. Still 37. That's quite respectable. There's parking indication there. Does anybody have any idea where Winston parked? It would be nice if we could park next to him. It's a bit tight down here. There's a lovely DR221 Jodel there. So parking was on the right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks like I got a Lance, a Saratoga out there, a white Saratoga.
Is that him there? That looks like him there. Let's go park here.
Excellent, excellent job, Rock, for the Saratoga. Go ahead and angle it in, start the left turn now, angle it towards the numbers. Runway
now she's stuck, you see.
Yellow dot, clear to land, left turn into the grass. Welcome to the show.
Come on, little airplane. I'll do this outside. It's a bit tight to maneuver without space, without depth perception. Right, parking brake. No reset. Light idle. Parking brake's on. It's holding. Let's shut it down. Don't forget the back pressure. Yeah, exactly. Right, let's shut this aircraft down. So basically, air conditioning goes off. The lead goes off. I switched those taxi lights off as well. You know what? I should have done some of this stuff. It doesn't matter. We'll do that later. Right, we'll come across high idle. It needs 30 seconds or so there. Let's go on to the other frequency.
Tower, Little Ford,
Actually, it's this one
seaplane
here.
base inbound.
Little Ford, welcome back.
November 5-8 Yankee Foxtrot from the TBM.
At or after the red box, take it as long again. At or after the red box, runway 36 right, clear to land to Little Ford.
I'll shut it down.
Little Ford 36 right, at or after the red box.
All aircraft inbound to Oshkosh over the east-west road.
Right, listening for that fuel pump.
36 right, 36 left. Landing on the right, you will be expected to taxi all the way to the end with no turns off the runway. All the way to the end, follow the flagman. Off 36 left, we'll be putting you down at the purple or the yellow dot. That'll be a left turn into the grass and follow the flagman. Welcome to
I've got my headset on.
the
There we
show.
go. So pump, not this one. Pump, off, off. Stop binging, airplane. Inertial separator, door open.
I said it reminds me of an 80s Volvo.
What's that, sorry?
I said it reminds me of an 80s Volvo.
It does bing an awful lot, doesn't
just
it?
about to turn base to final. Go ahead and start that
That's
left
part of the
turn.
deal, isn't
Crank it
it?
in for me all the way around. Left turn now for the yellow dot. Give me a good turn on that.
Well, there
for
we
the
go,
yellow
folks.
dot.
That's
The white red is up. There you
SimVenture
go. Crank
2021
around
in the
for
HotStart
yellow dot.
TBM
Runway
900.
36 left, clear to land. Looks
If
like
anybody's
a
got any
Lance out
questions
there, Lance, white
about
blue
the
Lance. Go and
arrival,
start a left turn for me.
feel
Start
free
a left
to
turn, angle
go
for the
ahead.
purple dot, aim for the
Let me know in
purple
the
dot.
chat.
I'll have the landing clearance
Phil, what did you
20
think about
seconds
it?
for that white blue
Any
Lance.
questions from what
Crank
you
it in.
saw?
For the little Ford, you're going to have a Lance come up.
No, I mean it would have been cool had there been a little bit more action on the turbine side, but I'm sure that'll come. And other than that, you flew it very well, and so there's nothing more to say on that. I don't think. I just thank you for having me.
No, no problem at all.
Do you plan to do the Fisk in a piston?
I don't know. I don't think I've got the time to do that. I'll have a look at Friday night and see what the options are. But I just wanted to make sure we did at least one approach into Oshkosh. We'll see. If you want to look at the Fisk arrival, MD in the chat, as I said, have a look at Winston's stream, which he's got on video on demand if you've not been watching it. I think this is Winston here. He says he's 2 rows behind. Hello, Winston. I think
he says we should hit the beer tent.
I think, shall we go to the beer tent and then Winston's going to go do some more flying? So I think what we'll do, if I can make this work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send all the lovely viewers on this channel, thanks very much for joining me, I really appreciate it. I'm going to send you over to Winston's channel on a little raid here, so you can have a look at Winston flying out in the SF260. And as I said, don't forget to congratulate Winston in the chat for getting his PPL as well. Folks, thanks so much for joining me. I much appreciate it. And you have a nice week. And I'll speak again later. Let's see if we can send you over to Winston.